sometimes when we are overcoming self-limiting beliefs, we may not even know what it is. We may not even know what the narrative is that we're telling ourselves that is keeping us in the same situation, in the same loop, or in a situation where we feel stuck, that there is no progress. And one thing is for sure, that when I was studying psychology in undergrad, and thankfully I graduated, exposure therapy was a concept that we reviewed as one of the most effective ways to overcome self-limiting beliefs and past trauma. So simply put, if you're ever wondering if you're like babysitting your cousin or nephew or something, and you're teaching them how to ride a bike, and while you're teaching them how to ride a bike, of course, they fall off, totally tumble off, or they could be like little me. I ran into the back of a Jeep, a parked Jeep. You know how those Jeeps have the tires on the back, the round tires on the back of the truck, and the Jeep was parked. It had been parked the entire day, and we were learning how to ride our bikes, and I saw it coming on, and somebody was like, "Brake, start, brake," and I was like, "Ah!" And I just saw myself just going straight towards the back of the Jeep, and boom, bounced off that tire. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was like a basketball bouncing off the square on the backboard. So yeah, if they have an experience like that, where like your little cousin or your mentee or, whomever it is, you're coaching them, helping them out, and they completely fall on their face, smack dab in the back of the Jeep, and then pop, bounce off the back of the bike, fall on the floor, laying out like somebody's gonna draw chalk over them. Everybody's laughing, okay, because it was hilarious. And then, if that's something like that happens, what's the best way? If they then become scared, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to ride the bike anymore because I fell off and I hit my head, it hurt, it was scary, it was embarrassing," all these things that they have a preconceived notion about, a self-limiting belief. They're like, "I don't know how to ride a bike because when I tried to ride a bike, I fell off." What is one of the best ways to help them overcome that? Exposure therapy, which means putting them back into the situation again so that they can have a different experience. Okay. Passing by the church, they have service. That's good. So yeah, put them in the situation again so that they can have a different experience. That's actually a really good example. For example, sometimes people, they think, "Oh, well, I went to church once and I didn't feel accepted." Well, the best way to overcome that belief is to go to a different church. Go to church again. Go to a different church so that you can feel acceptance. You may walk into a different church, and the last time you had an experience, well, they judged me, they gave me a nasty look. And that could just be that. I felt like everybody was looking at me. Then exposure therapy says, give yourself the opportunity to enter into a church where everybody's smiling, welcoming you, happy, thank God you're here. We want you to be here. We want your son to be here, all that stuff. So exposing yourself to that very moment that was previously debilitating or traumatizing, discouraging, when you totally fell on your face, you totally were like, "Oh my gosh, why would I do that again? I'll get hurt." There's even a phrase, insanity is, doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. That is not insanity, that is mastery. Only insane people are great, if that's the way that we're gonna look at it. Because you must try over and over again and trust that the result will change, especially when you are changing, when you're learning more, when you're putting in more skill, when you're changing your perspective. Yes, the result can change. And yes, things are worth doing again and again until we gain that confidence. So if you are in that situation too, hello. Oh, it's a Frenchie. Hi, Frenchie. If you're in that experience, dogs, there are just so many examples. Maybe there was a dog who chased you down the street, and was mean. The best way to overcome your fear of dogs is to meet a dog who is sweet, or maybe you meet a dog who at first is defensive and then their owner explains, "Oh, he's a really sweet dog. He just loves us in the house very much. If he feels that you're going to come on the property, then he's going to defend us. Otherwise, he's a cuddle bug." Then that gives you the opportunity to overcome your previous fears, because that's most dogs, okay? Most dogs are sweet to their families, but hey, they love their families. Like, they think, hey, are you walking up on my grandma's lawn? They're not having it. So the point of the message is exposure therapy. Be confident, take the courage and be confident enough to expose yourself to something that once scared you so that you can overcome whatever that limiting belief is. You may not even need to know what it is. You may just know what the replacing belief is, which is, I love dogs. That could be it. You know, my church members are very supportive of me and they love me. That could be it. So be willing to change your narrative by exposing yourself to the situation again, and keep doing it over and over again, and just know that a different result is coming.